Hi! Welcome to my holiday kitchen. It's Friday, and thanks for hanging in there with me. I usually get on a little bit earlier. Had a little snafu. I was in the middle of making my recipe, and I ran out of almond flour. I'm like, So I had to run to the store and get it. And what really kind of bummed me out is I had to buy the Bob's Red Hill brand, which is great, but it's like $8 for a bag of this, where Trader Joe's has one. It's not, it looks brown, but it doesn't matter for this recipe because the cookies are brown, and it's like half the cost, and it's so much cheaper. I mean, this is beautiful. Like if you can see how lightly colored this is, and that's great if you're baking something like a coffee cake or something that you know you want not to look brown or light brown. You can go with that, but if you can avoid, if you have a recipe that doesn't require that, go for the Trader Joe's one. It's a lot cheaper. So thanks for joining me. For those of you, I'm actually on Chrysalis, our Chrysalis Facebook page instead of our private Vibe Tribe page today, because I wanted you all out there to experience what we are in Vibe Tribe. And Vibe Tribe is something we put together at Chrysalis. It's a private Facebook Live group, and we've had a ball with this. And it's basically, we are pulling together kind of all of those pieces that you want to help you to keep, centered, connecting to your soul, staying physically, emotionally, and mentally healthy. So it starts with Vanessa leading a 6:30 in the morning meditation. It's usually about 15 minutes, and the beauty is you can watch it at 6:30 or you can watch it later in the day, and it's been really wonderful. We have a great group of people, and it's like we're all in our pajamas and meditating together, but we're in our own space, but we feel like we're all together. Does that make sense? Because we can comment, and we know kind of collectively and kind of energetically that we are all meditating together, and that's really powerful. So it's kind of in between actually going to the studio and sitting live, or being on using an app, which you just don't have that personal touch, and it's a daily thing. So Vanessa is talking about things that are actually happening, here and now. So you really feel like you can apply it more readily to what's happening in your life. And in addition to that, we have Michelle, our sound healer. She kind of tucks us into bed on Monday evenings, and she does her sound healing, her crystal bowl vibrational healing. And even though we're not physically feeling that vibration, the music is beautiful and her voice is beautiful, and it really is just a peaceful way to settle in the evening. And it gives you a chance to even check out what sound healing is. A lot of people don't even get to experience that. And then I pop in on Fridays, usually with some kind of kitchen food bit, little music sometimes, little dance, whatever. I call it Sit in my Kitch. So who knows, it could be all kinds of stuff going on. So what I've started with during this holiday season, we've been talking about, I've been chipping away each week, giving you a recipe for a gift or an appetizer or a dessert, or even an evening meal that's really quick to make in the evenings, and that don't kind of bog you down because our time is a little bit limited during this season. So today, because my daughter Erin's coming home tomorrow, Saturday. Yay! I'm so excited. I don't know if any of you have any children that are out in college land. It's wonderful when they come home. It just adds more life to the house, and I love to take care of her and scoop them up as much as I can. And so anyway, she's vegan. I'm not vegan. I would say I call myself a flexitarian, or I eat predominantly anti-inflammatory foods. My background is in nursing, so I'm a healthcare provider, in that realm of being a healthcare provider. So I eat the foods that can heal my body. And that ends up being more plant-based. I end up eating more vegetarian, and have been dabbling in the vegan world because I stay away from dairy and even wheat. The gluten, I find that is irritating because that's very inflammatory. Of course, sugar is inflammatory. So I'm pretty close to the vegan diet anyway. However, I may sprinkle some seafood. I am a foodie, so I don't like to be totally restricted. If I'm gonna, like, for example, for the holidays, I have my Taunt Mike's wonderful sour cream coffee cake that we serve every Christmas. Of course I'm going to indulge in that, and I'm making it with real butter and the whole ball of wax. I tried doing a vegan version, which was okay. It actually turned out all right, but I'm going for the real deal. I love the texture and the flavor of the real butter and everything in that. So I think, that being said, it is a balance. We hear that word a lot, but I truly believe in that. And I was 80% of the time, eating healthy, eating to protect my health and keep me, alive and energetic. I want to be able to still go hiking and, climb mountains with my grandbabies, someday. So you got to take care of herself now, right? I'm curious how many, last week we did I showed you all a little movement, little yoga movement in case you couldn't get out, to the gym if you were, short of time. I'm just curious if any of you have tried that. Give me a little thumbs up. I don't think anybody's here anyway, so I'm just talking to myself. All right, so let's get to the recipe. Let's get down to it, all right? The thing I love about this is what we're gonna be making. It is, can you see? Look how pretty that is. These are like a chocolate peppermint cookies. So the peppermint's on the top. It's not really infused in the chocolate, but they're really, wow, that's really good. I converted this to a vegan version. I wasn't quite sure how, the texture was gonna turn out. It's really soft and chewy, which is super nice. And nobody would even know it's vegan. That's the beauty of this, is that you can put this out, and it's nice when you're entertaining or you have guests that might have a food allergy or whatever. This one is pretty, has the almond flour in it, so if somebody has nuts, they couldn't have it. But it's gluten-free and vegan, so that's pretty good. Look at that. Yeah, super good. All right, so how you make this, very easy, and I'm going to give you the recipe. I'm going to type that in after I finish. And we're using coconut oil. We melt some coconut oil. I just use like a glass, glass Pyrex. I just filled it up, put the coconut in here, and I put it in the microwave to melt it. Don't get a pan out. You don't need to do that. You can just put it in the microwave, but if you don't, just do it over your stove. And it's about half a cup of the coconut and then half a cup of honey. So the honey is your sweetener in this. So you pour it in and you mix that up, and it's just like a nice little mixture. And then you get together your dry ingredients, which is 3 cups of the almond flour. And like I mentioned before, try to get the Trader Joe version if you can. The original recipe called for 1 egg and 1 full egg and an egg yolk. So what I did instead, I made what we call flax eggs, and this turned out really well. It still held the batter. So the conversion of a flax egg, which is made with ground, you want ground flaxseed, not, the little seeds. So in order for the flax seeds to kind of get activated, in a sense, the oils, and for you to actually absorb the benefits of the flaxseed, which is omega-3 oils, which is really good for your brain, your joints, and your body. It actually helps to reduce the bad cholesterol, the LDH, and raise the HDL. But the flaxseed needs to be broken down, not just the seed. It needs to be, so you can get this it's called flaxseed meal. And so to make an egg, flax egg is 1 tablespoon of the flaxseed meal to 2.5 tablespoons of water. So I doubled this, and I'm going to give you, like I said, the recipe, and I just put in 3 tablespoons, and I had a little bit of the meals, and you let it sit so it kind of gets thick. You can kind of see it's like the consistency of an egg, so it's kind of thick. It just looks brown, no big deal. You're going to put a full tablespoon of vanilla. So don't think that's a typo. Generally, when you are cooking vegan or reducing sugar, you really bump up. You'll notice those recipes have a lot more vanilla in them. They're usually like a whole tablespoon and not like a teaspoon. So, I see somebody popped in. I have to put my glass. Hi, Becky. Mwah, how are you, honey? Becky is a fabulous cook. We need to cook together, girl. We need to get in the kitchen one of these nights. I love it. And so we use some cocoa powder. You can, doesn't have to be anything special. It called for 6 ounces of dark chocolate that you had to shave and cut. Forget it. That's too much trouble. So I just used like the little Tall House small little mini chips. And because, though, I was making this a vegan version, I used Enjoy Life. Is the same. It looks just like this. They're like the little mini chips, and you can find them in any grocery store. But they're dairy-free chocolate chip, and they're delicious. They taste like the real deal. So I used that instead of those. And so you're going to mix all this in your powder. Little baking soda, cinnamon, and splurge and get some decent cinnamon. Cinnamon is something you can use in all of your cooking, and it really makes a difference when you use like a high quality cinnamon. This is a Vietnamese cinnamon, and it just really adds such a nice flavor and a punch. Oh, it smells so good. And what's fun, this has a little bit of cayenne, so you'll put a little pinch of cayenne in there. So you basically, you've got your dry ingredients, and then you're going to add the liquid, which was the coconut and the honey. And I just want to show you what this consistency looks like, just so you know. It's pretty thick, see? Because that the coconut oil starts to kind of, get hard. And this is what you want. You don't want it to be too soupy, because when you put them on the cookie sheet, you're putting them in, like you're doing little balls. And you don't want these to like spread out too much. So it's just like a tablespoon, and you just put that on, and so you just plop these. I do like 3 across because they do spread out a little bit. So put that on, and you know what we forgot? What I forgot to do? I forgot to pray over our food before we started. This is something I've been doing lately. That just before I get off my train of thought, that's about how far you put them, and that's about the size. So I did like a tablespoon in there. So anyway, we talked about this last week. We often will say grace before we sit down to eat dinner, and it's lovely because it makes you pause and be offer gratitude and just think about where your food came from and the people that harvested it and all the trouble and the work that went into it. And it also just kind of like calms you down, so you're not just gobbling your food. So that digestively, that's good too. I started to take that practice into the kitchen, before I start cooking, just to kind of get myself in that good space, because I really believe, the energy that you kind of have is, if you kind of are having a cranky day or whatever, your food, I don't know, it doesn't come out as well. I've just experienced that myself. So this is a way to kind of just like bring yourself to peace and to be, again, grateful for the abundance of the things in front of you, and to offer your love and your energy that's going into this food, because it is a beautiful gift that you're offering to your family every single day. This is one of the best things that you can do, and it doesn't mean that you have to make everything from scratch. You can, get something, from the freezer and heat it up or whatever. It doesn't mean that you have to do everything exactly from scratch. It's all still made in your home and in your kitchen, and under your guidance and your love. So let's just do I'm going to do a prayer right now over our food, and you can either hold your hands. I like to put my hands physically over the ingredients as I'm praying and thinking about this. And I'm just going to take a breath. And first of all, I just want to offer gratitude for this beautiful, these ingredients in this food, and to be able just to go into a grocery store and find all these items, and for the people that work there that stock things and make everything look beautiful, and our farmers that are growing this food and shipping this here for us to be able to use and very easily. And I am offering this thanks and also offering my grace and love into these ingredients and into my kitchen, that it'll be a place of acceptance and non-judgment and love, and that we bring that to all of our family and all those that enter and eat this food. Amen. That's it. That was kind of long. You can do whatever you want. You could just like lay your hands over there and just like think 2 seconds and do it. Whatever works for you. But just try it and just see how you feel as you're making your meal and your dinner. Because I know sometimes it can be a stressful time. In the evening you're trying to get the meal out and everybody's hungry and you're tired, and it can be a lot of work and stressful. So that is it for the cookie. It takes about 8 minutes. You're going to put it at 350 in the oven, and really just only do 8 minutes. You don't want to, so when you see them, they're going to be kind of puffy, and when they come out and cool, they get kind of flat, as you can see here. Speaking of using, not always having to do things from scratch, a nice little appetizer that you can do. I like these. Trader Joe's has like a julienne root vegetables, and I did this kind of around Thanksgiving. We had some friends over, and it was like cold out, and I didn't feel like putting cold crunchy vegetables out. So instead, I roasted my vegetables. So I roasted some cauliflower, and I tossed them with some curry and a little salt and pepper, and so they were kind of yellow looking. They were really kind of pretty, and they were browned, and they were beautiful. And then I made a curry dressing with some veggies, which is some curry and lemon. I'll put this recipe down. And then when I saw these at Trader Joe's, I thought, oh, this would be really nice, as well, to put them in, because they're like sticks and you can kind of dip it. So that is what I'm going to do for a vegetable dip. So instead of cold crunchy carrots, they're going to be roasted, and I'm going to just put this little dip here in the middle and give that a whirl. people really loved it. It was really nice. So I don't have it finished yet, but you get the idea. Pretty simple. So I think that is it for today. I'm also going to post, I came across a really nice holiday mix on Spotify, and I'm going to give you this link. It was put together by somebody. I don't know who this person is, but it's really nice because it's not all the traditional music, which is great. Sometimes you get kind of tired of it. So it's a lot of other artists singing it, like Sting and Diana Krall, and just a whole variety of different singers. I don't know if you can hear it's playing in the background, but I will add that to the mix. And that is it. So I'm going to sign off. Do you have any questions for me? Type it in. And for those of you that are interested in joining us in Vibe Tribe, just type Vibe Tribe and look for us. We are going to be offering more of these open to the public in January. So you can be part of our Vibe Tribe to try it out. And then hopefully you'll stay with us throughout the year. Okay? So I'll see you later and enjoy the weekend. Mwah.